What's up guys, it's your boy King Anubis here, and I know I've been missing for quite a bit of time, but what I've been doing is I've been leveling up this exact character that you see me playing right now, which is a magical warden. I'm still missing some skills and still missing a few things, but you know, for the most part I'm really enjoying the class. Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about skill and balance, and you know, these terms that I hear getting thrown around a lot, and you know, what are they exactly? Balance. A lot of people are under the misconception that balance is somehow like all the classes are supposed to be performing alike, or you know, if you're a Templar you should hit as hard as a Nightblade, or why is your ultimate not as good as this person's ultimate, or whatever. And that's not what balance is, guys, and that's not even how balance is achieved. Balance in this game is actually achieved through counterplay. So what do I mean by this? I mean that anything that you're running in this game, or any skill or thing, that a debuff or whatever, should be able to be countered by another build or another skill. So when we have something that cannot be countered, it cannot be like avoided or something like that, then we have something that may be considered unbalanced. So let me give you a quick example of what I mean by this. An example of this would be a few patches ago, Nightblades could have buff up and basically use the major skill ability, and they would just use the two-handed ultimate and just one-shot a person. No matter who you was, no matter how much resistance you had, no matter what it was, they would just go through it, it would just whoop and you were dead. That was something that it was extremely imbalanced and needed to get looked at. So what is skill? You know, everybody keeps throwing around this term skill and skill balancing and all of these things and whatever. Skill in more or less terms just means experience. When someone says they're a skill player, they're just saying that they're experienced with the class or experienced with the game. That's it. When they hear people talk about this skill balancing and the game should be balanced based on skill, I don't think that's possible, simply because skill is a variable. It varies in degrees between player to player. No two players have the same skill, you understand? And you don't balance a game based on skill, you understand? Because whose skill are you balancing the game based on? So it's not actually the developer's problem that a player may not be as good as another player. That's not something for them to even look at. So how well is this game balanced? This game is actually balanced fairly well in terms of group play, and I won't actually speak too much about solo play, because solo play is actually not really a thing in this game. The game was always intended for group play, and you'll hear a lot of people talk about as a solo player or as a solo player or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with being a solo player. If that's how you enjoy playing the game, you should fully be well entitled to play the game that way. But it's not the developer's problem that you're nerfing yourself by playing solo. So the game is actually balanced through group play, which means you should have one of each class probably on your team, like 5 people, something like that, right? And you guys should be bouncing off each other's skill, and that's how you achieve the most balance, because your one build can't counter the entire game. You cannot counter every single player's build in the game, but through your group you can better deal with everything in the game. So a while back I got a question that said, you know, why isn't solo play like the focus, or why isn't it even a discussion for Cyrodiil? Let's look at Cyrodiil and the purpose of being in Cyrodiil. The purpose of being in Cyrodiil is to hold all of the center keeps to crown the emperor, hold as much resources and as much of the keeps and the scrolls as possible to score points by the evaluation. That's how it's played, right? Those things aren't done through solo play. Those things are done based on the group. Look at the greatest solo players out there, all the Cypher and whatever's the case, and whoever you could think of, you know what I mean, that's out there that plays solo. Toxic Nebula. Look at any one of these people. Do you ever see them sieging down a wall? No, they don't play that way. Now their content is great, their content is amazing, because it shows you the power of a class, and it shows skill, because they're a single player taking on maybe outnumbered odds or whatever's the case. But that's not the focus, or the main focus of the game. let's take for instance King of Games or Leonard or something like that. You watch them by themselves, it's like, yeah, it's good, I've seen it before. Put those two together and you're like, yo, this is Elder Scrolls. This is what the game's supposed to be like. This is what you want to achieve, because they're two skilled players working together, just destroying. And that gives people like encouragement, or at least it gives me encouragement, or something to work towards, or be like, yo, that's what I want to be like. So let's talk about some things that I think should be looked into. And guys, feel free to disagree with me, that's okay. You know, everybody has an opinion, and you shouldn't be forced to like not have an opinion or have to take my view. If you disagree with me, that's fine, you know what I mean. You could comment that below. Wizards Repose, I know this is controversial, because the minute you start talking about Wizards Repose, the people who wear it feel a certain type of way. I think it needs to be in the game, but I think it needs to be looked at, and I think it needs a range on it. It should only debuff people maybe 5 or 7 beaters who are around the player. It shouldn't be like, yo, the minute you touch the person, you do a little bit of crit damage, but dots can crit. So you put the Vampire's Bane on a person who wears friggin' Wizard Repose, you're debuffing yourself. So it needs to be looked at a little bit. Poisons, I hate them. I think they should have been taken out. They need to be taken out of the game, simply because every class doesn't have a viable cleanse that is realistically usable. Because I know everybody say, oh well, everybody has access to Purge. What Storm Sork, you know, is going to be running Purge. And I guess you can say, yeah, from group play, you know, you could use the Templar Circle on the ground. However, with multiple people shooting poisons at you and everybody using it, you're gonna get it on you and you're not gonna be able to get it off. So I think they just need to be taken out of the game, period. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. I'm also looking for some people to play with, guys, for Battleground. So if you know some experienced Battleground players who maybe could teach me a thing or two, or just some people who in general are skilled and don't mind playing, I'm in Daggerfall. I'm down to play. I'm down to learn, and you know, I'm not the greatest player, so I'm always open to learn, and I want to play with some more people and stuff like that, because I think that's what the game's about. Socializing as well. You guys have a blessed day. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching this video. Drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not familiar with this page. I'm going to be streaming a lot more, so follow me on Twitch. I'll leave all of that in the description. Thank you guys so much, y'all.